What's good with the YouTube? It's your boy Rojo with the Convicts Perspective. And as you can tell by the title, man, today we're going to talk about some misconceptions that journalism, uh, law enforcement, other agencies that want to portray something a certain way, and maybe spin a bad light on them without actually telling facts. Just how they spin the narrative, man. And these are some misconceptions. I found this article, man, and it's about the big homies from down south. And I know you guys are going to laugh in the comments and stuff, but this is the things that they try to say so society develops a certain image of certain people. It's the best way I can say it, man. All right, here we go. This is from grunge.com. The title is Rules the Mexican Mafia Has to Follow. Okay. According to the FBI, the Mexican Mafia was formed around Mexican American convicts and ex-convicts who operated in the neighborhoods of East Los Angeles, evolving from an average prison gang into a highly organized crime institution at the Duell Vocational Institution in Northern California in the 1950s. The power of the group, also known as La M, and La M grew rapidly over the years. Its influence spread to prisons all over the U.S., profiting from narcotics and soon controlling all the major lines of drug trafficking into California and other prisons. The group operates through a sophisticated system of hierarchy and code of rules. The main appeal of the group is protection over its members, as revealed by a former member, Rene Enriquez, who told NPR, because the Mexican Mafia has such influence within the prisons and jails that street gang member knows, if I don't do what I'm told to do on the streets, then when I hit the jail or when I hit the prisons, there are those who are so loyal to the Mexican Mafia they're going to assault me. Okay. Formed by members with a strict Latino heritage, the group's initial intention was in part to pay respects to their Aztec and Mayan heritage, seeing themselves as warriors fighting the battle started 600 years ago by white European colonists. Besides Aztec and Mayan symbolism, the gang is also known by a black hand symbol and the number 13. Here are the rules that members of the Mexican Mafia have to follow. According to Professor of Criminal Justice Robert S. Fong, the Mexican Mafia operates with a strict hierarchical system. It's organized into a complete paramilitary structure of generals, captains, lieutenants, sergeants, soldiers, also known as carnales. There is also a president and a vice president on the top of the pecking order, as well as other associates who are not full members. There is one general per one prison system. This general names a committee of lieutenants and captains who command prisons under their jurisdiction. The position within this hierarchy is not lost by moving to another prison unit. All member positions, excluding sergeants, are voted with one vote per member, and decisions must be made unanimously. As reported by gang expert Tony Raphael to the Southern Poverty Law Center, the group doesn't give people much option of whether they want to join it or not. It operates through vertical introgation, meaning that it seizes any potential member as soon as they land in prison. New recruits are given the X files, the rule book of the group, and they must obey requests and orders or risk finding themselves on a hit list. Duties might mean staying up all night to guard the cell or transferring messages between members, and there is no nice way out of it. There are thought to be around 150 to 300 members of the Mexican Mafia inside the prison system who operates as generals and colonels. Although the structure is very rigid, it is believed there is currently one main leader of the whole group. As per Robert S. Fong in the organizational structure of prison gangs, the group only recruits people who have a previous connection with one or more of its members. Next, the person goes through a background check to search for any possible connections with law enforcement or informants. And after that, the group anonymously votes on his acceptance. When you're in, membership lasts for life. Okay. Soldiers, new recruits, have to be sponsored by another member, meaning they work under their responsibility until they progress in ranks. The sponsor is completely responsible for a recruit's behavior, and if the latter fails, they are responsible for their punishment, elimination as well, according to Fong. The Mexican Mafia, as many other gangs, firmly abides by the blood in, blood out rule. This means that to join the group, one must undergo beating from other members or beat a non-member, and that the only way of getting out of the group is by dying. The only people who can surpass the rule of leaving the group by death are prison guards who cooperate with the group through helping them with their legal activities. They can leave the group simply by leaving their job at the Department of Corrections. To prove their loyalty to the Mexican Mafia, members must often undergo a loyalty test. This means committing a crime, whether that is stealing something, committing fraud, or murdering someone. When the MA gives an order, it must be completed. Potential members, called the wrecking crew, who finish the deadly request without flinching, gain respect and the trust of their established members, as revealed in the Black Hand. Former member Rene Boxer Enrique said, "It's an accomplishment. You feel a raw sense of power, inflicting violence on someone for the organization. You did it and got away with it, and you're pumped with adrenaline. You're just like, yeah, yeah." Violent acts serve as a badge of honor and a status mobility system. The more you're willing to risk for the group, higher ranks you can occupy. As per the Orange County Register, the main activities of the group are earning profit through illegal businesses of drug trafficking, mostly heroin, gambling, debt collection, extortion, and smuggling inside of the prison system, including the most guarded prisons such as New Folsom and Pelican Bay. According to gang specialist Leo Duarte via the Orange County Register, any reluctance toward the task given by the group is seen as a sign of weakness. They also look for people who are proactive and who will be able to give orders in the future, a person that doesn't say no. Southern Poverty Law Center reports that the inclusivity of the group is strongly tied to obeying the rules, with gang expert Tony Raphael saying, if they want to remain part of that culture and if they want to be seen under the Mexican Mafia's protection, they have to obey the Mexican Mafia's rules and follow their orders inside and outside of the penal system. Or, as per the Mexican Mafia's rule book, any member of the Mexican Mafia, no matter if he be president, vice president, general, captain, lieutenant, sergeant, or soldier, who violates the rules must pay and suffer the consequences. If a member wants to resign from his position as a Mexican Mafia member, the consequences are dire. There is an automatic green light for killing any member who leaves the gang, which never goes off, not even after many years. According to the FBI, an incarcerated group member who wants to leave the group has no other option than to fight the Mexican Mafia or seek protective custody during his time in prison. When authorities are notified that a certain individual has become a target, they offer physical and mental support in exchange for assistance in neutralizing the efforts of the Mexican Mafia. As explained in the Black Hand, no one is allowed to raise a hand against a fellow member without prior consultation with others. The reason for this is to avoid personal conflicts and conspiracies against the group members. However, this doesn't mean that all members are safe from each other. As reported by the Los Angeles Times, Mexican Mafia member Samuel Villalba, I say that name, I've never seen it, was killed in early 2021 by fellow group members. During his time in prison between 95 and 09, he attacked James Rube Soto, a member of a higher rank, which led him to fall out of the MA's favor. After being beaten up in prison facilities, he left the institution with the death warrant on him. Years later, he made a mistake of returning to one of the neighborhoods under Mexican Mafia command. Another former member, Ramon Mundo Mendoza, said before Villalba's death that the guy is an open target. It's what you'd call an open contract, a lifetime contract. As per Robert S. Fong via Inside Prison, the expression "bringing down the light" indicates a murder contract on someone from the group, but such an action has to be approved by a minimum of 3 other members. If a Mexican Mafia member discloses information to law enforcement, they become informants. Informants mostly operate out of a desire to bargain away their punishment, since the legal system often rewards information with a milder penalty. But becoming an informant is absolutely banned in the Mexican Mafia, which the Green Light Report has an unwavering position regarding those who become informants. However, things can get complicated. With some people working both sides, as reported by the Orange County Register, police detective John Balian started to associate himself with the Mexican Mafia instead of fighting against it. Accused of disclosing information about federal racketeering, sending warnings about arranged drug searches, disposing of firearms, and even extortion operations, the detective's activity was exposed through a gang member who had turned informant. The Los Angeles Times report that Balian was sentenced to 21 months in prison for obstruction and bribery charges. The no informing rule goes as far as consulting for movies, as in the case of American Me. Movie director Edward James Olmos made American Me, which depicted Mexican mafia members Joe Morgan and Rui Cadena in the early 1990s. Due to an incorrect portrayal of Joe Morgan, a killing contract was issued on the director as well as Charlie Brown Manriquez, the member who advised the film crew on the screenplay. 10 days after the movie release, Manriquez was dead. Less than 2 months later, a gang counselor and consultant, Ana Lizarraga, was killed as well, and so was Manuel Luna, the third consultant. Respect is highly valued among the Mexican Mafia's members, and any sign of disrespect can lead to a fight, as explained in The Black Hand. Family values are high on the list of the group members' priorities, and families should stay out of conflicts at any cost. But this rule is more often only on paper and not in practice. Renee Boxer Enriquez says via The Black Hand, recollects Flo, a sister-in-law of the group founder, disrespecting him and trying to put him on a hit list. Pleading revenge, Enriquez went after her son, willing to endanger his girlfriend's sister in the process. Both of them miraculously survived, but Flo had to pay in spoons of heroin and tax. Besides traditional insults or physical attacks, it's also a rule that no member should be intimate with the wife or girlfriend of a fellow member. Despite these rules, violent conflicts have emerged among the members, leading to death threats to members' families. And NPR quotes Boxer Enriquez as reflecting on such violence, saying, "The arbitrary targeting of families because I am your adversary takes it to a whole different realm of violence. This was not part of the bargain. This is not the Mexican Mafia that I joined." According to The Black Hand, a member of the Mexican Mafia must never reveal another member's business connections, which are often a main tool for a successful deal. All the business done under this jurisdiction of the Mexican Mafia must stay inside of the group. On top of that, members must not steal from fellow members and must not politicize or create conflict within the group. The Orange County Register reports that gang member Luis Vega was accused of ordering a murder and direct assaults against those who showed disrespect or didn't obey orders. These rules are not just those in the Mexican Mafia members' rulebook, but also codes of behavior around conducting business for anyone who happens to be in prison. In this case, one of the rules was a thirds tax, signifying a huge advantage the Mexican Mafia had over everyone else. Drugs smuggled into the prison by the group had to be sold first, and a third of any other contraband was given to the group. The group collected taxes from the purchases in the prison commissary. The Black Hand reports that if you want to be a member of the Mexican Mafia, you must not be a coward. Members must strive toward aggressive and arrogant behavior, and this is how they gain respect in the community. But this rule has led to a racial war in recent years, according to 2007 articles from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Although the Mexican Mafia was founded as a protection group for Latino gang members, the group developed a deep conflict with the Black Guerrilla family, a rival gang supporting the Afro-American community. This conflict has transformed into a horrible racial battle over the years where people are killed solely on the basis of their skin color. To earn stripes or badges of honor, Mexican Mafia soldiers often kill innocent African-American civilians that came into Los Angeles neighborhoods under their jurisdiction, as well as any Black gang members. According to the rules outlined in the Black Hand, members of the Mexican Mafia must not, under any circumstances, participate in gay activity. The severity of this rule was displayed in the case of American Me, a film starring Danny Trejo that led to several murders. The movie basically showed Cheyenne. Well, I'm not going to get into all that. While the movie's main topic was about the machismo that gang members displayed, the scene provoked such a violent reaction from the Mexican Mafia when that scene happened with the main character depicted as someone in. I don't even want to get into that, man. We're not going to open that door. The Black Hand explains that no member can ever speak about the Mexican Mafia's activities or even confirm the group's existence. There is a secret bond or trust that binds the members, and one should never ask about the group without a prior invitation. You never search for the group finds you. To keep secrecy, members often use Nahuatl, the ancient language of the Aztecs. Since the language is a complex combination of signs that can serve as letters as well as symbols, it serves well to conceal the meaning of what you're saying. The Mexican Mafia comes before everything else. This is the most important thing in a member's life, and they must prioritize its needs and values above everything else. There is nothing, not even a person's family, that can replace the group or come before it. When you click up with the gang that's loyal to the MA, the Mexican Mafia comes before God, your family, your friends, going all the way back to childhood. It's a sense of identity with community along with the strict internal regulation of behavior that has made the group so powerful. As supported by the Orange County Register in 2018, prosecutors stated that the group has become a highly sophisticated organization through the years. These MA members and associates working together to control criminal activity within the LA County jails have become their own entity or enterprise and effectively function as an illegal government. Or as stated by Paul Bellicourt, a member of the FBI's field office in Los Angeles, essentially the Mexican Mafia is a gang of gangs. Now, I mean, I know you guys see me laugh a couple times and whatnot. It's just because some of the outlandish things that, you know, people that are in journalism and even law enforcement tend to put a lot on it, you know, to have people create, you know, develop a perception of what is and isn't reality. And you know what that does down the line when you bang falsehoods into society for so long, you know, a blanket thought process starts to be formed over these groups. Now, your jury pool. Oh, I've heard of those guys. Those guys do this. Those guys do that. You know what I mean? Now, do I advocate for any kind of organized crime or violence? No, that's not my lifestyle. But at the same time, man, you know, it's irresponsible to report fake. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. They have enough information from past cases and people who chose to put the lifestyle down that they have a overwhelming amount of information at their disposal to tell the real story. You know, and this is the kind of stuff that gets people pressed up. You know, the same thing with American media, the same thing with reporters being irresponsible. There's just some do's and don't do's. That's why, you know, when we tell you something, it's either 100% fact or it's an educated opinion. We're not going to put out something that we're trying to say is facts when it's not. It's just not a responsible thing to do for anybody. You know what I mean? Whether you're talking about anything, you know, just keep it 100. That's the best thing to do. Anyway, I found that interesting. Hopefully you guys did too. You know, some of you might chuckle like I did. Yeah, I wanted to chuckle more, but it would have messed up the flow of the article. Tell me what you think. I know there's a lot of people from down the way. Hope you enjoyed it. It's weird hearing people that don't really know any kind of lifestyles talk about it. And that's that. It's your boy Rojo, Convict's Perspective. I'll holler at y'all later.